Hello, welcome to your practice. I'm glad you made it. Let me know how it goes. Comments below, maybe a like for the video, maybe you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And feel free to share it, friends, family, anybody who might benefit from it. Hope you enjoy it. So taking these first moments of practice to make our way here physically and mentally. And as you notice, whatever you notice, the more obvious physical sensations, the more obvious feelings emotionally, mentally, allow all of that to be there. If you can observe, and if you can add some curiosity about whatever you notice, add that. And then you might notice that under the more obvious sensations, more obvious feelings, there is more. There is more subtle ones. And those are also valuable, noticeable. And maybe you find some, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, that you'd like to just amplify a bit. So if you notice a sensation that feels good, nourishing, or if you notice an emotion that also feels nourishing and feels good, remind yourself that those are there, and even they just lasted for a moment or it was just a glimpse, the reassurance that they're there, they exist, and that you can tap into them. And see if that can also, you can also tap into that. You can also notice that, acknowledge that. If your hands are resting on your belly, your lower rib cage, notice that there is movement of the breath. It is there even if you're not making it happen consciously. And then whether you are sitting down or lying down, notice that there is ground underneath, there is support, there is earth holding you here. And maybe for a few breaths, allow that earth to support you. Trust that holding, that embrace. And maybe you add some open mouth exhales, dropping into that ground just a little bit more. And notice if your awareness, your attention is still on your breath. And if not, just for a moment notice where it is. And then if it was somewhere else other than your breath, gently bring it back to noticing once again that there is movement, As you breathe in and breathe out, there is sound. There are physical sensations and there are feelings and emotions that come along as you breathe in and breathe out. If you are in a seat, making your way onto your back body. And then we'll meet there with the feet more or less under the knees bent, and we'll draw the right knee in towards the chest. Find some movement through your ankle, maybe a wiggle through your toes. And then with your hands behind your right thigh, straighten and bend through your right knee a few times. And then the next time that your right knee is bent, plant your right foot and then do the same with your left. Left knee comes in, so movement through your left ankle. And then bring your hands behind your thigh and then bend and straighten through that left leg a few times. And as we begin to move in these more obvious ways, keep coming back to your breath. And notice what you might need to emphasize depending on the moment. Maybe the exhales are more releasing aspect. Maybe the inhales a bit more energy. And then release that left foot back to the ground. Both knees are bent, your arms by your side. We're coming into a bridge pose as we inhale, lifting the hips. And don't overdo it. And glutes, hamstrings are still kind of not that warm, so make sure that no cramps are going to happen. And then gently lower those hips. And then a few more times, lifting and lowering. And then the next time that your hips are lifted, pause there and heel to toe your feet wide and take your knees wide too. So you'll notice a little bit of a different bridge with your feet and knees wide. And still keeping your hips lifted. Take another breath. And then heel to toe your feet back in, more or less hip width. Hips are still lifted. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, lower the hips all the way down. Bring the right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh as you find a figure four, sending your right knee away from you. Stay here or lift that left foot and draw the left thigh in, or draw both legs in actually. Reclined figure four, breath in and breath out. And then release, left foot down, right foot down too. And then bring your left knee into the chest, give it a squeeze. And then cross that left ankle over the right thigh as you find your figure four on this side. Sending that left knee away from you, staying with the right foot planted or lifting it off the ground. As you bring those legs in towards you, see what you need here. And take a couple breaths. And then release that figure four, both feet are grounded. We're coming back into bridge, arms by your side. And as you inhale, lift your hips. And as you exhale, lower. We're going to add the arms. So as you breathe in and your hips lift, your arms go overhead. Maybe thumbs touch the floor. And then on your exhale, your hips lower, your arms draw back by your side. And again, inhale and we lift. And exhale, we lower. And then inhale, lift. Now keep your hips lifted. And on your exhale, just lower your arms by your side. And then a couple more like that. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, lower. And one more, inhale. And exhale to lower, arms down and hips down, heel to toe your feet wide. And then open your arms out into a T as you drop your knees towards the left side. Stay here or bring your left foot just over the right thigh. Stay here or walk your right fingers overhead, keeping the arm down. Maybe that arm is by your ear. Notice that big space, right side body. Breathing in and breathing out. And then release. Bring those knees back through center, those arms out into a T, and then take it to the other side, knees towards the right. Maybe right foot adds a little bit more weight to that left leg. Maybe that left arm goes overhead. And take advantage of this big space on the left side body and breathe into that left rib cage. And soften on your breath out. One more. And then return through center, heel to toe your feet back in, arms again by your side. We're coming back into bridge, lifting those hips. We're going to stay lifted, and now lift your right heel. So you're coming onto the ball of the right foot, and then lower it. Lift the left heel and lower. Maybe do one more each side, or maybe both heels at the same time. And you might even push the floor away as if you were trying to bring your chest towards your chin. Extra squeeze through the glutes, as long as that doesn't get too much, too intense. Another breath. And then when you're ready, lowering heels, lowering hips all the way down. Bring the left knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then we'll find again that figure four, crossing that left ankle over the right thigh. Now you could stay with this figure four, or you could take it into a bridge figure four if you'd like. So arms by your side. If that's the case, push into that right foot as you lift your hips. And take a breath in. And take a breath out. One more here. And then on your exhale, lowering those hips, releasing that figure four, and then bring the right knee into your chest, give it a squeeze. We'll find that reclined figure four on this side. And then once you've got that, option to take it into a figure four bridge, lifting those hips. And taking a breath. And then when you're ready, releasing all the way down. Bring both knees into your chest and find some circles with those knees. You could do separate circles for a little bit more rotation, femur bone and hip socket. Or you could do knees together for a little bit more rotation, kind of more like affecting more like lower back massage, shall we say, sacrum massage. You could do a bit of both too. And then bring those knees back into the chest. Bring the hands behind your knees, and we're rocking forward and back. We're going to meet in a boat pose. So you could take a few rocks, balance on your sit bones, and then take it back again. Legs maybe overhead. And again, sit bones. And then the next time that you're up, see if you can stay lifted. So a few options here with your figure four. And even if you know that there is an option that you can do, you can even try them all and see how things feel. Toes resting on the ground with your hands behind your thighs, shins parallel to the ground. Maybe extending through the legs, your hands still holding. Maybe you let go of the legs and you reach your fingers forward. Broaden through your chest, shoulders down. Powerful, strong pose, but can you find some ease? And can you make this work for you, whatever that might look like? Another breath in. And another breath out. And then we're going to come into a reverse table. So we're bending those knees, we're planting the feet completely. The hands are coming behind us, and you can choose how to place your hands. Your fingers could be slightly pointed out or pointing towards your hips, depending on how your wrists feel. And then we're lifting those hips. Once again, space in the front body. Squeeze through the glutes, work through the back line of the body. Find space in the front of your shoulders. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, return your sit bones. We're coming back into that boat pose. You could keep your hands behind you. It's a nice one too. You could even have your fingertips, and you can use that to broaden a bit more through your chest. Hip flexors are working quite hard here, so notice that and take a breath. And then as you exhale, come back into your reverse table. Plant your feet, hands well planted too, and lift your hips. Once again, see if you can make a bit more space, fronts of shoulders. Engage through the glutes, the backs of the legs. Push into the feet, another breath. On your exhale, sit bones down. Last one, finding your boat pose here. Again, what version will work best for you? What do you need today? One more breath. And this time on your exhale, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. The knees go wide, and we're going to fold over the legs. So again, your hands could be behind you, and you push your chest forward and down, or your hands could come around your ankles or shins as you take your chest also forward and down. You could add a bit of rounding if that feels good. We were opening up the front body quite a bit, so it might feel nice to kind of close it up. But just see, once again, make it your own practice, explore, be curious, make yourself feel good. Another breath in. And breath out. And then with your next inhale, lift your torso if you were folded. Bring the hands to frame the hips, and then stack your right knee on top of your left. And then turn your torso a bit towards the right, so you're adding in a bit more of a twist. You might look over your right shoulder. And then on your inhale, bring yourself back through center, knees wide, torso faces forward, and then stack your left knee on top of your right. So you'll notice that I'm sitting on the outside of my right hip, and then I'm turning my torso any amount, see what's available towards the left, turning my head also towards the left. A breath in and out. As you inhale, bring yourself back through center, knees go wide. And on your exhale, again, folding over those legs, maybe hands around shins, or you keep them behind you as you push yourself forward and down. Take a full breath in and out. With your next inhale, lifting through the torso, extend your right leg out to the side, bringing the left foot towards the inner right thigh. Sit bones are well planted, your shoulders are over your hips, and then activate your right leg, toes towards your shin, knee pointing up towards the ceiling. As you breathe in, reach your arms tall. And on your breath out, a side bend towards that right leg. So your right arm might go to the inside of the leg. On your inhale, come back through center, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, find a twist towards your left. And then again, inhale, come back through center, arms tall. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, twist left. On your inhale, come back through center. Find that side bend right. As you inhale, center. And now on your exhale, that left hand goes a little further away from you towards the left. And now plant weight into that left hand and your left shin and lift your hips. Plant your right foot and find a big stretch through the right side body, and maybe even take it to the front body a bit if you'd like. So depending how things are feeling here, a squeeze through the glutes, you push your hips forward, creating all that space in the front body. Another inhale, another exhale. And then we're coming back, lowering the hips, bring your torso back through center. And then maybe without using your hands, right foot comes in, left leg extends out to the left side. Find those sit bones well planted, your torso lifted, and then we'll take all of that to this side, arms lift. Exhale, left hand to left leg, maybe inside as you find that side bend. Go for sensation rather than looks. Come back through center. Exhale, right hand behind us, left hand crosses, and now it's a twist. Again, inhale, center. Exhale to your left. Inhale, center. And exhale, a twist. On your inhale, center. Side bend left. As you inhale, come back through center. And on your exhale, coming into that opening through front body. So your right hand is going to go a little further away from you. But what you want to do is that when you lift your hips, you're coming onto your right shin. Your right shoulder will be more or less on top of your right hand. So that's the most stable for that shoulder. And I find that most of the times I need to walk my left foot in some so that I can plant it, and that can also be nice and grounded. From here, find all that space, left side body and even front body if that's available. Another breath in. And out. And then return those sit bones to the floor. Bring that left knee in. Once again, soles of the feet together, and then flutter your knees a few times up and down. And take a breath. And then from here, we're going to make our way to stand. So I like to cross my ankles. And then you're going to maybe get a little momentum, or maybe even use your hands if you want. And we're going to plant the feet and then make our way up to stand. So I'll meet you in a mountain pose, top of the mat. And once you get there, just take a moment to shift your weight forward and back on the soles of the feet. Find that grounding once again. Allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears, but don't take the spine with you, so you're not collapsing through the spine. You're allowing your shoulders to soften, but your spine stays lifted, tall. The muscles around your torso embrace that spine and support it too. And then your legs grounding down also support that torso and support your lift. When you're ready, take your arms wide and up, inhale. And on your exhale, left arm down, side bend. Come back through center, breathing in. And take it over to the right, breathing out. Come back through center, inhale, interlace those fingers overhead and palms towards the ceiling as you find a whole body stretch, maybe coming onto the balls of the feet. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, heels down. If they lifted, arms go wide and we're folding over the legs. Inhale to find a halfway lift, lengthen your spine forward. And exhale, fold. Two more like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And one more. Half lift, lengthen. And now on your exhale, plant your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. With your next inhale, come out into plank pose. And on your exhale, return to downward facing dog. Two more times. Inhale, plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. And another one. Inhale to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. On the inhale, we're coming back to plank pose. And this time on the exhale, we're lowering down onto the belly. So you might lower your knees first. Draw your elbows back as they bend. And you, with control, lower belly and chest to the ground. As you inhale, find cobra, keeping those elbows close to the ribs. And on your exhale, lower. Remember to use your legs, push down through the tops of the feet, squeeze glutes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And one more, inhale to lift. And on your exhale, move through all fours, tuck your toes and return to downward facing dog, hips up and back. Look under your right armpit. Back through center and look under your left. Back through center, tuck the chin, looking at your belly button. And then center and look forward beyond your fingers. And now take your feet there, walking, hopping. Find a halfway lift at the top of the mat. And exhale, fold. On your inhale, bend your knees and rise into chair. And as you exhale, bring hands to your heart. From here, maybe lift the right heel, lower it, lift the left, lower it. Maybe lift one more at a time, each one at a time, or both. For a breath in, a breath out, and one more. If the heels are lifted, gently lower them back down, and then extend the legs, reach your arms tall. On your exhale, side bend. Back through center, breath in, and over to the other side. Back through center, find the opposite interlace of those fingers, and again, palms towards the ceiling, and if it's available, you'd like to, heels away from the ground. Steady breath and gaze, a breath in. On your exhale, heels down, arms go wide and fold over your legs. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, come out into plank. On your exhale, return down dog. Inhale again, plank. Exhale, down dog. And one more, inhale, plank. And downward facing dog, exhale. With your next inhale, come out into plank pose. And once again, we're lowering down. So you choose knees down or not, slow and controlled, staying honest to yourself. What do you need? Once you are down, inhale into cobra. Make space in the back of the neck and between the shoulders and the ears as you lift. And exhale, lower. Think about lengthening forward and down. Again, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. And inhale, cobra. And exhale to lower. Come back through all fours, tucking your toes, and downward facing dog, hips up and back. Take a breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Another one like that. Breath in. And out. Looking again beyond your fingers. And then taking your feet there, a hop, a walk. Finding a halfway lift when you get to the top. And folding over the legs, exhale. Inhale, coming up into chair. And exhale, this time taking it into a twist. So open arms, right arm forward, left arm back as you turn your torso any amount left. Your knees are still pointing towards the top of the mat. And then come back through center. And then find a twist towards the right, left arm forward, right arm back. And then come back through center. On your exhale, bring hands to your heart. Finding that balance once again on the balls of the feet if you'd like, one at a time or both at the same for a breath in. A breath out. One more inhale. And as you exhale, heels down, straighten legs, reach your arms tall, catch a hold of your left wrist and take it over to the right side. And give that wrist a little stretch here. Maybe a little squeeze. And then come back through center and switch. Left hand, right wrist. As you take it over to the left, give it a little squeeze too. And then bring yourself back through center. Arms go wide and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And on your exhale, hands could stay on the ground, maybe on fingertips, or maybe you bring along your blocks. We're going to step that left foot back. Coming into a low lunge, lowering that left knee to the ground. And then as you inhale, think about hips forward and down, chest lifts. So you're going to get quite the stretch through the front of the left hip. And then on your exhale, send your hips back as you straighten that front leg any amount. And then again, inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, take it back. And one more like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then on your inhale, come forward. Keep your left hand down. And then bring your right hand to your right thigh. Use your right hand as leverage and think about pushing your right thigh away as you turn your torso towards the right. Finding your twist. And then you could stay here, or you could free up your right hand, taking it up towards the ceiling. You could stay here, or you could reach back with your right hand, bend into your left knee as you bring your left foot towards your glute. Maybe the hand finds the foot. Maybe you keep reaching. This is perfect. Really good strengthening for that hamstring and that glute. If you did catch the foot, you could push the foot into the hand. Wherever you are, take a breath. And then release what you have, return through center, planting both hands. We're lifting through that left knee, and we're taking this into a downward facing dog. Right foot steps all the way back. Take a breath in, and take a breath out. As you inhale, come forward into plank pose. And on your exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, finding cobra. Exhale and lower. Again, inhale, cobra. Exhale and lower. And now you could choose to do cobra again, or you could slide your hands a little lower down the rib cage towards the lower ribs, and then you take it a little higher. You could do up dog if you'd like, so your hips and your thighs leave the ground. And then you take it all the way into downward facing dog. And take a breath in. And take a breath out. When you're ready, look towards the top of the mat and make your way there. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Chair pose on the inhale. And hands to heart as you exhale. Pause for a moment. You could do what we did before, the twist, the lifting and lowering of the heels, or you could choose to stay. Two more breaths. And then when you're ready, on the inhale, straighten legs, reaching those arms up. On the exhale, side bend. Inhale back through center. And exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. We're folding forward. Exhale. Find your halfway lift. Inhale. And now on your exhale, we're stepping the right foot all the way back to find that lunge. Lowering that right knee. And then from here, we'll lift through the chest. Think about your hips going forward and down. Notice that big stretch right hip. And then on your exhale, straighten front legs, send your hips back any amount. And then moving like that again. Forward, inhale. And back, exhale. And another one, inhale. And exhale back. As you inhale, you're coming forward again. It's that low lunge, but your right hand is going to stay down and your left hand is going to come to your left thigh. We're going to find that twist. So think about pushing into that left thigh, using it as leverage to find that rotation through your rib cage towards your left. So just see where you need to go, where is just enough for you. And again, maybe your hand stays. Maybe you free up your hand. It reaches up towards the ceiling. Maybe that left arm reaches back towards that back foot. Maybe that knee bends and that foot comes in towards your glute. Maybe you catch it, maybe not, that's fine. All those in-betweens are good places to be, good exploration. Wherever you are, breathing in and breathing out. One more here. And then we'll release what we have. Hands frame that front foot, and we're making our way back into downward facing dog. Left foot meets the right. Take a breath here. On your inhale, come out into plank pose. And as you exhale, lowering all the way onto the belly. Inhale to find cobra. Engage those legs, open up the front body. Exhale to return, torso down. Another one, inhale, cobra. Exhale. And then you could choose cobra or hands under, or hands a little lower towards the hips, lifting hips, thighs, knees, and then downward facing dog, up and back. We're meeting there, looking under the right armpit, looking under the left, looking towards the belly button. And then looking beyond those fingers and taking those feet there. Forward fold on your exhale. Staying in the forward fold, you could hold on to opposite elbows. You could do that in front of the legs, or maybe they wrap behind your legs. Bend your knees as much as you'd like. You can make even a shelf for your torso with your thighs. That might allow the neck to relax a bit further. And maybe there's an open mouth exhale. Or two. Another breath here. And then from this forward fold, release those elbows and see if you can make your way back down into a seat. So you might start with a chair or any version of chair. And then those sit bones come really close to the heels, as close as you can. Maybe you hover there for a moment, and then you let those sit bones arrive onto the mat. We're going to come back into a boat pose. So those toes might leave the ground. Your hands might come behind your thighs. Or another option here, if you'd like to play with this, is a wide leg boat pose. So with your feet lifted, take your knees wide And then bring your arms between your knees and see if you can grab a hold of your big toes. And then once you've got that, so you've got to have that balance on your sit bones, right? Think about your chest staying open, your knees going wide, and maybe you find kind of a bit of a happy baby with your legs, or maybe those legs straighten. Play around, no rights or wrongs. Your breath is the main thing. So if you find yourself with the legs extended, all lifted, but the breath is being held, the jaw is as tense as I don't know what, maybe it doesn't serve you that much, right? So maybe you'd be better off with your knees bent or even the toes on the ground. A couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, releasing what you have, we're coming back to soles of the feet together on the ground and knees wide. And then your hands again are around your shins or behind you. Find that lifted spine. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, find that hinge forward. And then maybe that rounding, dropping the head if that feels good. Breath in. And a breath out. And another. If you have folded, lifting that spine back up. Once you've got that lifted spine, right knee is going to stack on top of the left. And then find that twist towards the right. And then come back to that diamond shape. Left knee stacks on top of the right. And with using your hands or not, find that twist towards the other side. And then bring yourself back through center. And then bring those knees up, plant your feet, and we're coming back onto the back body. You could do this slow. Your arms reaching forward. Take a full inhale. And then tuck the chin as you slowly lower, section by section, feeling that back body arriving on the mat. Lower back, back ribs, your shoulder blades, and the back of your head. And then once you find yourself down, bring the heels of the feet a bit closer to the sit bones. We're coming back into those bridges, your arms by your side. When you're ready, press into the feet, lift your hips. You could do lifting and lowering. You could stay lifted in more like of a neutral spine bridge, or you could take it into a bit more of a back bend, kind of opening a bit more through chest and front ribs. And to do that, you would scoot your shoulders underneath you. Your shoulder blades are coming towards one another more. Your fingers, your hands could interlace. And then you're going to press a little bit more into your arms, your outer shoulder blades or outer shoulders, to find a bit more lift through your hips and your chest and ribs. And so just see where you're at here and what will again serve you best today. And then when you've had enough of whatever you chose, slowly bring yourself back to the ground. And just give yourself a moment here as the back body returns to the ground. You can let your knees rest against one another. Allow that back body to neutralize. You might find that you can lengthen the back of the neck, or you can scoot your shoulder blades out a little bit. You might find that you can play a bit with the sacrum and the tilt of your pelvis to make that lower back feel a bit more supported. And then from here, bring the right knee into your chest. And then try extending your left leg all the way onto the ground. See how that feels. And if that felt good, explore drawing the right knee towards your right armpit and pushing your left heel away from you. Ground through the back body. And then take a couple breaths. And then we'll take this into a twist. So we're going to guide that right knee over towards the left side. And you might have a block or something there for that right leg to rest on, or it might come to the ground. But think about your chest staying facing the ceiling, and you might let your right arm go open towards the right side. You could do this with your bottom leg, the left leg extended, or you could find a bend into that leg. Just see how it feels. And then undo that twist, return through center, and bring both knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. And then keep your left knee in as you plant your right foot. And then try extending your right leg all the way out on the ground. And if that feels good, guide your left knee towards your left armpit. Finding that extra distance between your left knee and your right heel for a couple breaths, grounding through the back body. And then we'll take this into that twist. This time the left knee is going to come across towards the right side. And you're letting your chest stay facing the ceiling. And maybe your left arm goes out to the left. Maybe a block on this right side for that left leg to rest on. And you can definitely allow that left shoulder blade to lift off the ground. It doesn't have to be completely planted. Mine is off for sure. And then undo that twist. Once again, bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then take a moment here. 5 to 8 breaths. If there's anything else that you need before Shavasana, go there. If you feel like you are ready, that's where we are heading. And finding the most comfortable position for you, finding any extra clothing, any props that will support you, sometimes underneath us, sometimes on top of us, like a bit of a heaviness on top of us can really help us with the grounding. So if that's what you need, go ahead. And then for these last minutes of practice, You are softening towards the ground, allowing it once again to support you, to hold you, to embrace you. Nothing else to do right now. Shavasana. If you have more time for Shavasana, feel free to take it. If not, bring your awareness back to your breath and taking your time to awaken the body, bring yourself back. Do it intentionally, with presence. When you're ready, we'll meet in a seat and your hands could rest in your lap. You could rest them at your chest. Maybe your eyes stay closed for a bit longer. You give yourself a breath in and a long breath out. As always, we take this moment to acknowledge the practice, a practice of connecting to ourselves, connecting to our humanness, and connecting to all other beings. Acknowledging ourselves for taking this time to practice. Acknowledging those who have practiced with us not only today, but other times too. And then acknowledging all those who have made it possible. And we end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.